Hello, darlings. Welcome back to the channel. This is Nomadic Moon Arts Tarot, Tarot 101, and today we're looking at the Kings. Yes, I did say we were only going to be looking at, we were going to be doing a video for every single card in the tarot, and then when I got to the court cards, I realized these are flavors of ice cream, not 4 different desserts. So we're going to do all the kings, all the queens, all the pages, and all the knights, and you'll find them in a separate playlist with timestamps below explaining when each of those are showing up. So here we are, the kings, the culmination of the entirety of the suit. While the kings and queens can represent people, and there are astrological signs and physical characteristics assigned to these cards traditionally, it doesn't mean anything, and nor does gender. Characteristics can help you decide who this person might be, or help you look for that person if they show up in a spread as a new person in your life, and that's certainly true. But oftentimes, the kings in particular can represent an influence of the sign that permeates the whole spread. If you pulled up a 1-card reading and it was a king, I would tell you to pull another card for context, because it's like saying, you've pulled the blue. We have the blue and your fortune is blue, right? It's an adjective. It's not a noun. It's not a verb. So think of kings as an adjective. A person, surely. I mean, if you're doing a love spread and the King of Cups shows up, I'd go, well, hold on to your knickers, because you're about to go for well, anyway. All right. So here we are. Now, interesting little side thing I'll tell you about. There's a fair amount of modern decks that offer 2 kings for every suit and 2 lovers cards, so that people can choose masculine or feminine expressions of the king and or the lovers, right? I have a beautiful deck that has 4 lovers cards in them. Same-sex men, same-sex women, non-binary, and a traditional cishet, right? And you can choose which one you want to use in your deck, or you can keep them all in your deck. You can have both the male and the female, and I'll show you some examples of this. We've got a traditional King of Wands, yes, carrying the staff, usually with a leopard print or an animal print. Okay, it's a beautiful King of Rods. It's King of Wands, and this kind of speaks to the symbolism of the King of Wands, because he is very much a sharp, sunny, fire-based teacher, knowledgeable, emotionally generous, friendly, charismatic. And here, for example, is an example of a deck with 2 kings, female and male. You can choose, you can keep them both, you can enjoy them both. If you want a purely feminine expression, you can use this card. Kind of cool. King of Wands. Oh, so terribly attractive. Oh my goodness. The King of Wands is considered this, if I was going to pick an actor, like the King of Wands is not my type, right? The swords, unfortunately, it's my type, but or cups sometimes. But anyway, King of Wands though is like cream cheese. I mean, he is delicious and rich, and well, not rich, but you know what I mean, rich. He's the Chris Helmsworth. If you were going to pick an actor, right? He would be the Chris Helmsworth. He would be Thor. He'd be that kind of pretty, traditionally blonde-haired, blue-eyed, gorgeous, you know, warm, cute, whatever. I don't know about his internal landscape at all. it doesn't really matter. This is a guy that kind of like falls upward no matter what he does. You know what I'm saying? That would be King of Wands. Now, King of Cups. Hmm. 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 All right. Well, usually depicted near water. There's always fish. Sometimes a fish is literally leaping out of his cup. The poet, the romantic. He can be a bit moody. He can be a bit melancholy. This deck has no men in it whatsoever. You don't even get to choose. The Cozy Witch Tarot has no boys. This deck has a choice. Two gorgeous cards. King of Cups. Both of them, you'll notice heavy emphasis on sea and ships, and seagulls and water. Right. So let's see. Timothée Chalamet, maybe? That might be a King of Cups. Let's see. Let's see. Tom Hiddleston, maybe? Yeah, that would be a King of Cups. Yeah, definitely. He's, as an influence, definitely a card of romance. He would symbolize romance coming into your life. He would symbolize a romantic person who makes romantic gestures. He would symbolize the romantic gestures themselves. The king showing up in a spread is, a fulsome expression of an idea, right? It doesn't, that's the top of the line. So a King of Cups in a romance spread says, ooh, big romance, romantic gestures, things like that. Okay. Dark side of King of Cups. Moody, self-absorbed. There's a bit of a wanton thing. Might possibly have multiple romantic interests, but treats each one like they're just the center of his world. That's like a dark expression, I would say, of the King of Cups. Somebody who's a bit of a player. An F-boy, shall we say, keeping it G-rated. Yeah, that would be the dark side. Now, speaking of dark, my little problem child, the King of Swords. All brain. Sometimes he gets a little stuck in the thinking mode. Can be a little cold. Can be a little emotionally unavailable. Those of us with daddy issues are very familiar with King of Swords stuff. But they're witty and sharp and sexy. Astarion and Keenan. Baldur's Gate would be a King of Swords supreme. Okay? Now, he is a weakness of mine, that character. I adore him. I think he's the most beautiful thing on the planet. So to me, this is complimentary. But for many people, it would not be. This is somebody who's tricky. He's not easy. Okay? But he's fascinating and smart and funny. And boy, once he likes you, you're his, right? But getting to that spot might be a bit of a challenge and not always worth the effort. The juice is not always worth the squeeze. Okay, King of Swords. Can all learn important things from one another, right? And the gorgeous multi-choice cards here. Both beautiful. Right, so, like I said, an example, let's see, if you don't know who Astarion is, and I'm so sorry that you don't. Let's see, what would be an actor example of the King of Swords? Just someone who's cool as a cucumber and a bit stoic and very attractive. Think winter color palette, silver hair, light eyes, or, silvery hair and prematurely silver, right? Um, young silver. Uh, oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. Sam Elliott thing? I don't know. I'm like, am I showing my age by showing that one? Anyway, um, he is once he's in, he's in. But like I said, getting there is kind of a ride. On the other hand, you'll know right away if he's interested in you because he will grill you um on your ideas, your thoughts. He's drawn to wit and intellect and savviness and open-mindedness and all of that, and he will fall in love with you through your mind. Now, don't sleep on the King of Pentacles. If you watch Stranger Things, the King of Pentacles is Bob. But more than that, King of Pentacles is a very attractive, often quite wealthy, slow moving, traditional guy. If he's going to romance you, he's going to romance you with flowers and picking you up and being appropriate and doing old school dating behavior. He will not rush in, but he will, if you're looking for a provider, the King of Pentacles is a provider. Most assuredly, it will not be a whirlwind romance. It will be traditional in some ways, if that is what you are into. True success isn't about money, it's about happiness as well. But sometimes it's about money. There we go. See, you'll notice the yellow, right? The gold, the sacral chakra. Excuse me, solar plexus chakra colors. And that has to do with money and success and confidence and all of these things. Like, this guy doesn't have to rush at you because this guy doesn't have to rush for anybody, right? He's got everything he needs. So if he's pursuing you, it's not because he needs something from you. It's because he wants you, right? It's because you add to his already full life. And so in return, he will add to yours. And because, happy wife, happy life kind of guy, he's that guy. He's just that guy. He's very old school. All right. And there are plenty of people who love an old school sweet pea. So if you are into that sort of thing, he is always welcome. When he shows up in a spread, he definitely symbolizes a classy, old school, lovely person. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And definitely worth knowing. So, sunny, charming, extroverted, pretty, romantic, can be a little moody, definitely emotionally available, definitely emotionally expressive, the poet, the artist, the musician. Yes, yes. Cool, sexy, smart, witty, sometimes a little emotionally remote, sometimes a little emotionally unavailable, silvery, wintry. Anyway, moving on. And the king of, you know, the winery owner, the vintner, the restaurateur, just the all around success, right? Who doesn't need, no, it doesn't need, and who only wants. So there's your introduction to the kings. I hope that was helpful. Thus ends the minor arcana, and the next card to show up on this channel will be the Fool, and we're off to the races. I hope you found this interesting. Please leave a comment below. Please consider liking and subscribing. I'm gonna be doing all of the cards of the tarot, and then I'm going to be putting them all together and teaching you how to put them all together and how to read for funsies. It'll be fun. All right. See you there. Bye for now.